at the radio station WDBO. Sitting here with Larry Perry, the expert, the automotive maestro. Larry Perry, the magic mechanic, 844-580-9326. The drill, this is how this works. You call me, 844-580-WDBO. Tell me your year, your make, your model, and then your issue. And then I put you on hold for a brief session, and I put you on the air with the magic mechanic himself. He answers your question in such a layman's terms, if that's how you like to perceive it, but he can get as technical as you're able to take it in. 844-580-9326. John is giving us a call from Kissimmee. Go ahead, John.
Thank you, Mr. Larry. My name is John. I have a 2010 Chevy Malibu. It's a hybrid Malibu.
Okay.
Now, granted, I've used the car without the hybrid part working. It'll run normally, but I've replaced the alternator. It's a humongous alternator. It looks like a generator. And I replaced it once, and then it was bad. You can see the battery light on the dashboard. And then I said, well, I must have got a bad alternator. I got another one, and the same battery light again in the dashboard. It'll drive, but when the battery is exhausted, it'll stall on me. So I was wondering, is there anything, perhaps a fuse underneath or something that I need to look at that might help me resolve this issue? It has like 53,000 miles on it.
Yeah. John, listen, this is one of those situations to where when you get a high amperage alternator like that, whenever it's in a charging situation, it produces enough voltage to power up a small city. And over a period of time, the wiring coming off of that actually feeds back to the battery, it literally cooks the wiring. I don't think you've got that many bad alternators. Your car might be making them go bad because of the wiring in the car. When I get a vehicle like this, and it doesn't have to be a hybrid, it can be any vehicle. If there's a charging system problem on an older vehicle, something's got a few years on it, the first thing I usually do is I'll go to the power port off the back of the alternator, and I will run probably like somewhere around an 8 to 10 gauge wire with an eyelet on it, hook it to the back of the alternator where the power supply output is, and run it directly to the battery, your 12-volt battery, and see how that actually winds up, how it actually charges the system back up. It's usually, when you run into an issue like this, it's usually because the wiring itself is deteriorated. What happens is when you're driving crazy amperages back through a wire out of an alternator, what happens is that wiring will start building, it gets cooked, and it starts building a real high resistance. And of course, if you're not getting the significant voltage back into the battery, then the alternator automatically tries to fulfill itself, because it's like, well, I'm not getting what I need to back to the battery, even though I'm working myself to death. So it works itself to death, burns itself up, trying to charge a battery because it's not able to get enough voltage back to it. And the only way you're going to cure that is and we don't tell you to rewire the vehicle. What we're telling you is to add an additional wire, a heavy gauge wire with some new soldered in terminals on it from your power port off the back of the alternator all the way to the battery itself. But by doing that, you can leave the one that's in there. It's not going to hurt anything. The only thing you're doing is just adding another way for it to get voltage back to the battery. And by doing that, that usually solves 95% of the issues that we run into when we've got an issue like you're dealing with here. But adding another power supply cable from the alternator to the battery, or whether it's a junction at the starter or wherever, but you follow that power lead coming back off the alternator and just run you another wire on it. Give that a try. That'll probably take care of your problem. But give that a shot. If that doesn't help you, then you're always able to give us a call at Magic Mechanic. We'll get it in and we'll take a look at it and see if we can help you with it if you can't resolve it on your own. We do appreciate your call, John. And once again, you too have a Happy New Year. Thanks for tuning in to the Magic Mechanic Radio Show and, of course, our new YouTube channel. For more automotive tips, tricks, and just general information, make sure you subscribe to our new YouTube channel.